Hello. Good evening.
There.
Hi, happy evening. Sorry, I'm outside lah, because I'm
Where
working
you?
a bit late. I'm in Jalan Ipoh lah, outside my house.
What are you doing there?
No, just buying some things, and also sitting down here, quiet to do some work lah.
Wow.
Too hot at home. And really focus there.
No wonder the aircon is just right on top of your head.
Mm-hmm. My job.
This is his business, what, Celine?
No lah. This is somebody else's. I just come and tumpang only.
Oh yeah.
I just go
Coffee
there
shop,
and
coffee shop. Sitting in a coffee shop.
it's a restaurant like lah. Because
Okay.
I just go about, certain places a bit quiet. I just sit down there and do my work like,
Oh,
Otherwise too comfortable at home. And it's very hot also.
Yeah, but that's
Yes, good evening, doctor. Good evening, Celine.
yeah. Good evening
good
to you.
evening.
I think the rest should be joining us.
I hope so.
Let me just remind them in the group.
Yeah, well, you always like this, huh?
Meaning which one?
I mean, from last time when I used to conduct it in the hotel, you were one of the first person to come. Always.
Yeah, lah, Mr. Seelan, have been what do you call encouraging us to to instill this kind of working habit, you see, and he also brought all these principles into his workplace also, you see. I was working for Mr. Seelan for a short while, about 1 year.
Which Mr. Seelan is this?
Audit in Pana and Associates. But it's quite many years already, lah. He also lost contact. See?
Silan Celaya. Not Silan Celaya, is it?
Seelan Celaya.
Silan Celaya lah.
Oh.
His office was in Damai Laut, you see, during those days. But after I came back here and looked for, he's also no more already. I think he should be retired already lah. He's also quite elderly also.
Is it?
His office also no more there already.
Oh.
Silan Celaya. His son, I don't know whether that one is his son or not. He's still using the We Planner.
Oh.
His son and the wife. I don't know whether it's Silan's wait, let me admit somebody. Rafiq. Oh, Rafiq.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, Celine. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yes.
Good evening.
Sorry, I think this is the first time in quite a while since I'm joining, because most of the time,
More coming in.
Christopher, good evening.
Hey, hi, good evening, Celine. Dr. Venga and
Yes, sir.
everyone, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you? And all of you? Huh?
Not too bad.
Not
all
too
good.
bad, huh? That's good.
Rafiq, you're in KL or in Singapore?
I'm in KL at the moment, but yeah, I can only put on my camera. I mean, sorry, my audio, not my camera.
Okay, you're back in KL now, lah.
Yeah, just about a week. I'll be heading back to Singapore next week.
Okay.
How is Singapore, by the way?
Oh, depends on which side of
Generally
the
speaking.
table you're saying. Okay. I mean, there are challenges right now, obviously, right, with what's happening.
Big challenges. Very big
just like everybody else, prices have gone up. The government is doing their best in terms of, well, we have the reserves. The government has, planned for this for quite a while now. But business-wise, things have not been. It's more and more challenging in terms of jobs and stuff like that. I'm sure you read sometime last year, it came out in the papers in Singapore, there were 17,000 jobs being let go by the first quarter of March.
Oh.
Yeah. and there's been a lot of businesses that closed last year, and given what's happening in this past couple of months, more is expected.
Uh-huh.
But we always seem to land on our feet. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's basically because of the fact that the entire constitution and the way the country is being managed
Yeah.
is strictly on a well, let me put it this way, it's a very well run government in the world, no?
Right.
It is. And at the same time, the selection of people to run, both in terms of political ability and as well as diplomatic ability,
Mm-hmm.
and in terms of dealing with the entire world. I mean, you have 192 countries, no?
Right.
Singapore's people are all well exposed to this, but that's as far as the government of Singapore is concerned, no?
Right.
They're doing well. They have a lot of reserve and they can manage it.
Right. But like everywhere else, there are challenges. The average Singaporean is finding it more and more, difficult. I mean, whether it's job-wise, cost-wise, and things like that. But then, which country isn't? Everyone has their little.
Everyone has the same
Yeah.
issue, but only Singapore is able to handle it well.
Yeah, comparatively, yes.
Well, there is no comparison actually. You can only say one thing: it's a small country.
Yep. Exactly. It's a city-state.
Drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
But you must admire the fact that they are able to, because it's a tiny country. Again, because of the fact that there are no natural resources, they have to work it out well and.
Yeah. That's very true. They have basically used their small size to their advantage.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Welcome, Lucy Chin. She's from Kota Kinabalu.
Wow. East Malaysia.
East Malaysia, that's right. She has got a florist called Margaret Florist in Kota Kinabalu.
Oh.
Okay.
She supplies flower. I have known her ever since 1986. Still a
When she was a baby, was she?
No. I must say that Singapore is managed well. There's no doubt about it. Of course, it can be. Well, in growth, you grow up to a certain level, and then the growth is very, very small. But at the same time, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult to manage. What is if this issue does not resolve? Then I don't know how, no. Hi, Lucy. Okay, come, guys. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. I want to talk about two things now. One, awareness, and the other is the Facebook podcast where we did a video on outsourcing your thinking. Two things I want to talk about for a short while, and then I'll have a discussion in very quickly. One of the most important things that as a human we should all learn is to become aware. Awareness is important. When I say awareness, I'm not talking about what you have a tremendous amount of knowledge, you have a tremendous amount of skill, you have a tremendous amount of education. All that is not awareness. Awareness is something that comes into your brain. As I'm talking to you, you suddenly something comes in called awareness. You may have a lot of skill and you may have lots of anything you have, okay, in terms of knowledge, whatever. But your own awareness is something that you are maybe not pay attention. The moment you realize that hey, you have a thought, you have something coming in to you, you know. You're thinking of something. It comes automatically. That is awareness. Now, is that clear? Is that something that I need to explain further? Tell me. You always have thoughts. You just always some. Yes.
I have a question. So you talk about awareness thing. You know, quite oftentimes we realize we acted or overreacted over some kind of issue. Anger, for
Yes.
example.
Yes.
No, that's the thing, you see. Of interest of most people. Now, how to actually go about to actually slow down, you know, your person reaction, you see. I'm not talking about response. I'm talking about reaction. You see, that's the thing. We almost caught our tail, you see. It happened to me quite often times when I'm triggered by certain things. Let's say 10 times, you know, I may be able to capture it and manage my emotion well, maybe 3 times only. See, coming back about your subject matter, awareness, you see.
Yeah.
So how do we to actually train ourselves in you know, systematic and, you know, easier to manage ways? We you know, most of us like trying to deal with this anger thing and this outburst for almost throughout the entire our lifespan. You see? So that's the thing about awareness. You know, to discuss, Doctor. Back to you.
Absolutely. That's also awareness. Now, the thing is this, before you get angry, before you are annoyed, before you want to respond, the fact that you are your own awareness should be such that as the anger is building up, you must recognize it. Only then you can manage. Otherwise, you can't. So in other words, simply said, no? You say something to me, I'm irritated by you. That irritation is the awareness. When it becomes a thought, it's no more awareness. It's already full blown already. You see, every time when you have a conversation with somebody, and then during the conversation, it's you're getting irritated by the way you get a response. You are or you find that the person speaking to you is losing his temper. All that you become aware. And if you become aware, then you can manage it. That this is very important, you know. That's why when they talk about EQ, emotional intelligence, what they mean to tell you is the moment you get emotional, you must become intelligent. That is awareness. Because once you are aware, then you can always rectify it. The moment you let it come in, it becomes a full-blown thing. And when it becomes a full-blown thing, then you lose your ability to control yourself.
So, if I may ask, are you then saying you have to be aware of yourself and your emotions and being detached from that very thing that is irritating you or making you angry and dealing with it in a very calm manner? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the moment we calm ourselves, what you don't realize is automatically your mind totally settles down. Meaning it will manage your entire self. Remember, don't forget this, okay? We are all made up of cells. We have a total of 75 trillion cells in us. 50% of that is human cells, and about 50% of that is microbiological cell. You know, like when you eat a banana, some 40 minutes later, the banana is you. So we have these cells. These cells have their own nucleus. They are intelligent in their own. Now, the moment, let's say, you are angry, you impact the entire system. The only way is awareness. Where is awareness sitting? It is within yourself. And as you said very rightly, that awareness and your consciousness is very close to one another. We are all conscious, but awareness is a higher form of consciousness. You know, the person talking to you is irritating you. If you walk away, this may not be so polite, but to control your own anger, that is awareness. I'll give you another very quick example. Now, we all know that every morning the sun comes up. We all know that. Now, when the sun comes up, the whole universe is getting a 24-hour clock. We're using our clock. It has got a 24-hour time frame for us. We get 24 hours. You get 24 hours. I get 20. Every living things, everything gets 24 hours. Are we aware of that? Are we aware that every day we are getting 24 hours? Now, if you convert that 24 hours into seconds, that is 86,400 seconds. Are you aware of it? Of that 86,400, 8 of those hours you use for your sleep. You sleep. So for your 16 hours, are you aware of it? Once you become aware of it, and how are you using that 16 hours is a critical difference between you, the human, and then the time. Once you become aware of it, then the possibility is that you will do very well in life. Now, you will also notice something else again, awareness. For those of you who are married, before you got married, there was always a lot of romances, chasing one another, all that, okay? But after you're married, have you paid attention to your spouse? Has he or she changed? It's also awareness. Now, we say customer as an example. Are we aware the number of customers that do not use the same product twice? What is the quantity is very large. No more just a 20% drop. Sometimes 80% of your customers drop off. Not because the product is no good or not useful, none of that. But because somebody said something about the product, or maybe one of your employees may have rubbed up in the wrong way also. Awareness. I can keep talking about this awareness over and over again. My advice to all of us is that this awareness is the key to human success. And we must remember that all the time. Am I aware? You must train yourself. It doesn't come automatic. That's why my first advice to people is, hey, whenever you have a thought, write it down, Lana. Writing it down. The moment you write it down, it's there. You're seeing it. And as you see it, you feel good about it. You are aware of that thinking process. Otherwise, you will find that slowly but steadily, you become unconscious. Now, you know, they talk about the conscious mind. They say only 20% of our mind is conscious. 80% of our mind is unconscious. The reason is because consciousness is very small and must remain small. Because our entire body, we have billions of things that's happening. If for everything it's automatically run. Like as an example, when is the last time you talked to your heart, or you had a chat with your liver, or you had a chat with your digestive tract? It's done. It is automatically doing its job. That's why we need such a huge amount of unconscious habits that we have developed. So consciousness and awareness is the same and not the same. But awareness creates consciousness. So come, give me some input on this. Ask me any question. Never mind if it's wrong. All right, doesn't matter. What I can tell you, or whatever I've experienced, I can share that with you.
Well, because Doctor, your golden formula, right, of personal breakthrough thing is always these three: write goals and review, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, to increase awareness. So I also done that. I mentioned to you the previous meetup. You know, I used to writing down what actually triggered me and all that. Okay? So this one of it. But there are other also practices like going to the silent, going into meditation, those kind of things, is it? Those kind of exercises. Good to know, good to practice also, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Remember this. Okay? Just let me say one thing else, okay? This is something that we all must learn. There are 112 ways to improve yourself. There is no one way. There are 112 ways to improve yourself in whatever you're doing. Okay. So it's not that mine is right and yours is wrong. Everything is important. You can never ever do 112 practices of something. Even one practice that you consciously aware, you increase your awareness, you will do well. So human is like that. We are born with a lot of things for the survival. We have everything. We are born with it. The two cells that were given to us by one from your father and one from your mother is how you have built this body. Now, awareness is something that you yourself must create from the time you are born until today. You got to keep on improving and improving and improving in it. Be it meditation, be it anything, no? There is no such thing as this is not so good or that is good, this is wrong or that is right. Whatever you think is right, whatever fits you, 112 ways, remember? This is the key to human success. And again, money and all that is not important. You as a person, every single day of your life, you must be happy. You must sleep well. And always, always, inside you must feel happy. So it's not buying expensive dress or a shirt or an expensive telephone. No, that's it. Inside of you must always be happy. If we can just learn that skill, you will be very, very happy. Some more question, come.
I just want to say I'm very happy every day. Every minute.
That's
I'm
good
a
for
happy
you,
fruit.
Lucy.
I'm a happy fruit.
Lucy, you look like you're happy for all of us. So that's good. I
I
have
love it. I'm happy.
Dr. This, when we talk about sleep and so on, I've read like, you split the 24 hours into 3, 8, 8, and 8 practice and so on. The challenge for me, and I guess for probably quite a lot of people, is if I can get 8 hours of sleep every night, it's a luxury. Not that I don't want to, I guess it's my body clock. I can go to bed at 10 o'clock and I'm up by 4. And then trying to go back to sleep, it's just, you're just in and out. And, by 6+ you're just out of bed. So it's not that I've not tried. It's just, is that,
Okay. Let me first of all explain to you why the sleep hour between 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the 6 a.m. Sorry,
right.
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's 8 hours.
Right.
Now, if you are a yogi, as one example, okay, if you are a yogi, your only interest is in yourself. You are not even bothered with any other human being. You go to go to the mountain, you're on your own. And if you have 4 hours of deep sleep, just 10 to 2, 4 hours of deep sleep, which all yogis have, they can be awake for 20 hours. But because they have only one thing, themselves, searching or seeking for the truth in themselves.
Right.
But we are householders, meaning you got a wife, you got children, you got your business, you got social thing, and a whole lot of things to do. In your case, you need a minimum 4 hours of deep sleep, that is 10 to 2, and then 3 o'clock to about 6 o'clock, light sleep, meaning that you are awake but sleep at the same time. That's why you have the 4+4.
Right.
Now, manage it this way. The second thing I must tell you, it's something maybe nobody has spoken about you, or maybe a good yogi will explain to you the importance of it. Every one of us human, we are connected to the moon, the sun, the earth, and also in our case, at least we are connected to Mars, the 4 planets. Okay, you got that right? Now, the moon plays a very important role in the human. As a human, it plays a very important role. At a certain point in time, exactly at 10 p.m., it is in a position, and the sun is also positioned in such a way. The earth, the sun, the moon, and the Mars positioned in such a way that would be the best period to sleep. That period, your melatonin, which is produced by your body, at about 7, 8 o'clock, the body produces melatonin, and peaks about 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. and then it comes down by 2 o'clock. And that melatonin is the one that cleans you completely, like sending a car inside a workshop to be cleaned. It cleans you completely. That's sleep. And therefore, when you have go through that phase, the second phase, even if you don't sleep very well, it doesn't matter. That means the next 16 hours, your energy, your ability, all that is at its peak. That's why you find a person who sleeps very well, say from 10 to 6, he can be effective for 16 hours. So if you take the 16 hours, you got 2 8 hours. Each of the 8 hours, you can be very productive, 100% productive, at least 4 hours. So you have 8 hours of productivity, which you can produce, whether it's family or work or anything. So that's my advice. Getting to sleep at 10 o'clock is not a luxury. Getting to bed at 10 o'clock is a must.
Right. Right.
I'm 87 years old.
You're young. Yeah. Thanks for that advice.
No. Just again, listen to me. One more thing. When you get older, when you pass the age of 60, you will find that your walking is not steady. You lose it very slowly. Okay, important. This is why the sleep must not be during the day, but it must be at night. If you sleep at night, even though you are 87 years like me, you can work at least 16 hours a day.
Right.
So again, to do that, there are several things. Number one, very important. You should stop eating any kind of food before 8 o'clock. You must finish your dinner before 8 o'clock. Okay? So that whatever you eat, the dinner should be small, so the digestion will be quick and you can go to bed. Sometime when you eat late, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, the food is not digested, you cannot sleep.
Right.
Okay. And these are simple things that could be done, no? Remember, as a human, you are connected to this universe, okay? One way or another, you are. We don't know whether there are planets like us, whether are humans. We don't know. But we know that in this planet, this is some of the... Think about what I said, no? Don't take tablets or medicine to sleep. Please don't.
Yeah, I don't. So
natural sleep is very, very good. You notice that when you are not well, you want to sleep.
Right.
Why? Why? Because the cells need to recover. And the only way they can recover is if you sleep and become whole again. We were in, let's say, long before light came in, before they found light. Humans slept by the time the sun go down, they go to sleep. No? And as you said just now very clearly, the waking up hour is about sunrise. Sunrise depending on where you are. Like in Kinabalu, the sun will rise about 5:30, 5:35. It'll rise, right? So these are simple things that if you do it well, you live a very good life. So that's the one thing we talked about for the last half an hour. Let me talk about a second subject. This is about outsourcing your thinking. This is the Facebook video that I and Ikram did it.
I go to bed.
Yes, it was. It came out on our on my Facebook on the first Wednesday of April first Wednesday it came out. No, it's about artificial intelligence and then outsourcing thinking. You remember that we have you all seen that video?
Nggak tahu nih ya.
No, did you all
Yes.
see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that part of the subject is important. No? Are AI a good tool? Yes, there's no doubt about that. But you must also understand something. You have a thinking brain. Constantly, there is communication between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. There is always communication going on. Now, you must allow and you must learn. This question of thinking is like muscle. If you don't use them, then that muscle will slowly fade away. If you don't walk every day, you rest every day, you'll find later you can't even walk. Now, thinking is like that. If you are not using it, it'll stop. And then you will lose your ability to think. Many things such as dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, many of this is a result of our own doing. And that clearly must understand. So in the AI field, my advice to all of you is use it, but use it in the right way. What is the right way? Whatever you want to do, take a piece of paper out and start writing down what you know about the subject. Write it down. Don't cheat. You can, of course, copy from a book. No? Don't do that. Sit down, write down. You must write it. Without any paper, without any books and all that, just write what you know. And as you keep writing, you will slowly find that more and more is coming. Once you go back and reading through, some more will come in. Write as much as possible what you know. When you have done that, structure it properly. After that, you go to the ChatGPT and say, hey, this is the information I want to know. What is your opinion? And then ChatGPT will give you probably a 4-page document. You take the 4-page, compare with what you have. Then it will trigger, and then you'll make whatever you've written down even much better. The entire We Planner is about this concept, which is the conscious. A human must be conscious, and that's why I have that monthly action sheet. I have the daily schedule. All that is put there in order to keep your awareness and your own ability to think there, because you are thinking all the time. You're thinking. I don't know whether any one of you have experienced this. Sometimes you want to eat a certain food, and suddenly you say, no, not now. You put it out. Have you ever sat down to think why that happens to me? It happens to you because something in you is telling you, don't eat that, or don't do that. That's awareness. That's consciousness. So like that, you have no other being has got so much of intelligence as human. But we are not using all of that intelligence. We are not. Because we don't know how our education system doesn't teach you to think. All this critical thinking and all nonsense, no? They literally don't. That's why in the ancient time, let's say before the BCE period, they allowed children to play until the age of 12. Until the age of 12, the children just kept playing. Male or female, doesn't matter. It's only after 12, they then was more or less selected out, because they've been watching what the child like, and then they will branch off to that area. Now, in this sense, not everybody is good in everything, but each one of us are good in something. The recognition that I'm good in this or that is important. That's why I spent all my whole life, 67 years, trying to find a way to make people realize that they can be productive, that they can have a better life, for which all you need is yourself. That's why the We Planner was created based on that only. It is something that I myself have used it over the years. And my advice to you is, whether it is awareness or whether or not you want to find out your thinking ability, the first thing to do is to use that monthly action sheet. Write down. There are only 74 lines, no more than that. And that's the amount of things that you can download in one sheet. And then when you have downloaded it, you can say, okay, I've written all of that. What do I want to do with it? You want to do something, or you don't want to do anything? If you don't want to do anything, just use pencil and draw a line across. Therefore, you are also informing your mind. I understand you have given me this thought, but I don't want to do anything about it. It's okay. So you'll go to your trash can. Like that, the brain has the ability to trash it. That's why you cannot remember certain things. The computer is designed based on the mind. You know that. Okay. So I've said two things. Now, one, awareness. The other is in the AI, using any form of AI, use it as a check. You will be far more brighter, better understanding, and you will be successful. That much I can say to you. Question.
Dr. Venga, what you say is very true, I think. Example, we have been too over-reliant. For example, calculator, this calculator thing. You calculate, right? Using paper, whatever, abacus. Once the calculator comes into life, now even simple computation, you have to use the calculator. Easy to, Alright, Dr. Venga.
Yes, definitely. It's also very important, nowadays, we don't even use our mind to think or our brain to think. We go Google. Anything, you go to Google. What are you doing? You are shutting down your own intelligence. You are making whatever you have, the intelligence that you have, you are reducing it. So I'm not saying don't use Google. Please do. But you must understand that you can think out, but no. Okay, what you said just now is very right about the calculator. Those of us who learn the hard way, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. No, we learned it, memorized it. Till today, it works. The moment you use a calculator, you stop exercising your calculating brain. That means you are outsourcing the thinking process to the calculator, to the Google, to the chat GPT and what have you. That means you have stopped, you have outsourced your thinking process to a toy. And you will regret as you get older and older. You will not be able to walk straight because your muscle. You notice that old people have difficulty walking, right? It's because when they were younger, they never used their muscles. They're always resting. You see, that's why I can never understand the system. You retire at the age of 55. This is a Western concept. Because if you go to India, China, there are people who are 90 years old still working, doing things, but not in a factory, but doing something else. Now, therefore, use what you have. What you have, use it to the best of your ability. Anything you don't use will slowly go away. But the process is very, very slow, but very, very definite. It's like this. Another example I can give you. When you first started to drive, the first time you sat in a car to drive, you actually struggled. The first time with the instructor, you could not even drive a car. You try. And the instructor told you how to do it. Slowly, slowly, you drove, and then you got used to driving. Right now, you drive your car very unconsciously, you drive the car. And that's why you have accidents. Yes. If you drive consciously, you will not. Because while you're driving, you're thinking of all sorts of things. And you're not observing the car in front of you, by both sides of your car and at the back.
Yeah, but part of driving is motor memory. But I understand what you're saying. You have to really be conscious of your surroundings. You know, whether you're driving or even you're walking. You know, yeah, that's very important.
It is.
But if I could come back to the part about AI, and I mean, what you say is right. The question is, I mean, there's this big challenge in the world today, right? And whether you talk about the Singaporean context or the Malaysian context, about AI replacing jobs. You know, and there's a big fear there. Even the government in Singapore today has come up with grants to help those in their 40s to reskill themselves, because whether you want to call it AI or technology or whatever, right? That is still a challenge for a lot of people, because once they're in their 40s or 50s, they're wondering whether they have the time, you know, or they can commit the time to doing this, because with AI, it's changing so fast, right? So it's the question is, do you use it as a tool, like you're saying, as opposed to just replacing critical thinking, right? You know, like you say, going to Google all the time, or just using Chat GPT or Claude or whatever the name is today. So, I mean, in your experience, going back many years from, you know, writing things down to how we are looking at AI today, what do you see are the things that we can do? And but more importantly, for our younger generation, for the children, you know, I mean, with the internet and social media, the attention span is very, you know, small or very quick. You know, the mind shifts. So what are your thoughts on that, if I may ask?
Well, let me just say one thing to you. Every owner or people who develop computer, software, all that, their children are not allowed to use handphone. Their children are not allowed to use iPad and all that. No, until they become an adult. Why? Because why? By the fact that we are a human, we are lazy. The fact that when we are 40 years old, we begin to lose our abilities because we are lazy. Laziness is the main problem. I can also say this to you. That is, no matter what AI or otherwise, the problem is people are losing their job not because they don't have the skill. They don't want to learn a new skill. Now, just look around you. We have employed, even in Malaysia, we have a very large force of foreigners working in our country.
Right.
And you know what? Your mechanic that comes in to repair your pipe is a foreigner.
Yep.
Because we do not believe our education system has made it impossible for us to do manual work.
Yeah.
Is cutting grass in your home a bad thing? We rather pay somebody to come and cut the grass, or we outsource it, right?
Right.
We don't want to cut our own grass because we are lazy. We can afford it. So it's the comfort. You see, there is a big word called comfort. And this is the problem why AI has come in a big, big way. Why? People don't want to change what they're doing. I ask you to think about yourself. And I'm going to give you a very simple example. We all brush our teeth. Is that correct? Every morning. Now, ask yourself, is brushing your teeth relevant to you? If you brush your teeth with a toothbrush, you'll end up with a dentist. Because why? You are brushing it. You are spoiling all your gums that are holding the teeth and spoiling the teeth. Look at me. I'm 87. Look at me. I clean my teeth. Meaning, I use my hand. Yes, I use some kind of whatever powder or some kind of thing you have. You clean it. Yes, clean it. But not brush it. See the difference or not? If you clean your teeth, then you're taking out food that has been in your mouth, overnight kept there, and decayed. So a simple thing like that, cleaning your teeth. We don't want to do it differently because why? It's easy. Nowadays, they even got electronics. So you just put it on your mouth and it'll brush it for you. Comfort. Comfort has made us lazy. And therefore, AI will definitely replace anything that can be duplicated. That's the key. Anything that you got to duplicate, AI should do it. Yes, faster, better, quicker. There are software within what you have which can draw and make things for you, or you write a say you wrote a text, and then you can use that software, put the text inside and tell the text, give me a chart of this or what. The fellow will do it in 2-3 minutes. You'll get a beautiful chart. A lady wrote me a note about 6 dogs that were brought all the way from UK to go back to their home somewhere in Sarawak. I took the entire thing and I used a software called OneNote. and said, "Hey, give me a kind of a pictorial view of this." It gave me a very nice drawing. You see, that's a use for it. It's not that there is use. But you also must remember this. As we get older, our brain remains the same. It's not getting older. The fact that you cannot remember some of the things because that information is at the subconscious or unconscious level. That's why the awareness, the consciousness is an important part. I think we talked about just now about meditation is to increase the awareness and also consciousness. Exercise it. Walking every morning. You just walk. That'll help you. Everything is done not for you to be comfortable, but always using your intelligence to become better. There is a place for AI, but not at the thinking level. People must learn to think and solve issues that they have. I give you one more example. You do certain things, you don't even think about it, you just do. I was explaining to Celine Go, who's attending this program also. She's my PA. I said, when you cook, do you cook unconsciously? She said, yes. And I said, suppose you were conscious and you use your brain a little bit, you may add a few more different things. And whatever you cook will smell better or taste better. So even in cooking, you must become conscious. So while AI tools are good for certain things, but it's not the be all and end all of things. It's not. My view is simple. The human intelligence has been developed over years. In the beginning, we only had the limbic brain. As human, early part of human had only the limbic part of the brain. But now we have developed the frontal cortex intelligence is sitting there. This is something that we have developed. We don't know when we started doing it, but it has improved. Look at the children born now and children born 100 years ago. They're different. So this intelligence must become better and better and better, even in whatever you're doing. I have a very simple formula. Whatever you do, first, mark the time you start and mark the time you end. Find out the number of minutes that you use to do a certain work. If, say, you take 1 hour to do a certain type of work, you ask yourself, can I reduce this work by 15 minutes? I want to save 15 minutes. I want to do it in 45 minutes. You try. Then you're using your brain, because you'll find method to look at the process or whatever you're doing to improve it. And when you reduce time, productivity goes up, meaning the quality of your work goes up. That is a fact. That's why there has been studies of which I was involved in long time ago, okay, where a person working 20 hours a day is as good as somebody else working 20 hours a week. Someone can work 20 hours and be as productive as someone working 40 hours a week. That's why in parts of the world, they are already letting people work from home. Their number of hours working has been reduced. It has come down to, in certain cases, they only work 20 hours a week. That means 4 hours a day. And they're paid well. Because why? constantly their work quality is better. During the pandemic, a particular bank kept record of their people output before the pandemic, after the pandemic, and during the pandemic. And they found out that during the pandemic, the output of each one of the employees was higher by about 50 to 70% higher than employees before the pandemic. That's why that particular bank throughout the world have decided to let people come to work only twice in 1 week. Come 2 times, 3 days, you work from home. So there are experiments being done. When they work from home, they become more productive. So there you have it. It's not difficult. Ask yourself, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Can I improve it? Only if you ask that question yourself, you do not see improvement. You go to meetings every day. I'm sure all of you go to meetings every day. How many meetings you went to where the agenda is very, very clear? And also, the discussion time is limited to not more than 20 minutes. Do you know why? Because after 20 minutes, people repeat the same thing over and over again. So you sit there for 4 hours, wasting everybody's time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I talked enough. Come. We have another 4 minutes. Tell me.
Venga, there's a question raised in the chat box. It says there, I'm in my late 40s. Do we need afternoon nap?
No. No. In fact, humans at this condition, when we are in luxury, we have air conditioning, all that, should not have a nap. But having said that, I must tell you something. If you are given an hour or 30 minutes or 45 minutes for lunch, you can have lunch. And after that, take just 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes, rest in a place. That 20 minutes rest will give you back your energy. Any other question? By the way, to the person who asked that question, I'm 87 years old. I don't take afternoon nap. I don't. But that's because I sleep from 10 to 6 every single day. I know I get up 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm rolling around. I know all that. But at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll wake up. I'll be out of bed, do whatever I could do. You cannot run away from the fact that the earth, the moon, the sun, okay, and the planets around has an impact on you. Okay. Yes. Any more questions, Celine?
No, just some comments.
You want to read the comments?
Sure. Okay, one of the comments. Agree, I find writing down helps me organize my time. I have tendency to cram things, wanting to do more. So this helps me be more aware of what can be achieved within the amount of time I have. Okay, and then one more. Then she says, yes, I heard somewhere the Japanese have low rates of dementia because they like to write things down. Maybe it is a part of their culture. So brain cells are activated regularly. It could also be their diet, but writing down bit old school way helps. Okay. Okay. Another one. She actually she said thanks for the advice on the napping, but she says she noticed a lot of friends do nap. In other words,
But she's right in the Japanese thing. Very good. Very important. That we should look at our own self. Now we are living in the equatorial region here, very close to the equator. The sun is very, very hot. Nowadays, it's even hotter. Until June, it'll be very hot. Okay? But you can always find a shade and stay in. But if you have a good night's sleep without, see, the way I've always think, I never ever want to remember my dream. I had this incredible ability. Okay? And then I saw a study in America. It was done in America, where they said that if you wake up, say, in the morning at about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and you can remember your dream, that's okay. But they also discovered people who have a deep sleep in the early part of their sleep, let's say they sleep at 10 o'clock to about 3, 4 o'clock. If they sleep deeply, they cannot remember their dreams. But then they also said, you are dreaming, but you cannot remember it. That means you had a deep sleep. Also, the food we consume are also important. Okay, Celine, that's about 9 o'clock now. I can go on talking until tomorrow morning. So, shall we call it a night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we can.
Thank you, Venga.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you, Celine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
night. Good night.
Celine.
okay.
Good
night.
Thank you,
sleep.
Celine.
Good
Have a good
night.
sleep. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dr. Venga, Dr. Celine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Celine,
We'll
Yes.
meet again next month. Yeah?
Thank you,
We will
Celine.
meet again
Okay,
next month.
bye.
Good night.
Okay. Looking
Night.
forward to that. Thank you.
Remember, we'll meet again next month. Last Wednesday.